Hey everyone, welcome back to the Lookout. I'm standing here on the edge of Butte Creek Canyon on Doe Mill Road. This is the edge of the campfire. 6 years ago, the campfire burned right through Paradise, and a couple of days later it was burning up here against Doe Mill Ridge. So I'm out here today looking at a burn that's happening today. If you were in the valley today, you might have seen smoke up in the foothills, which is triggers a lot of people on the anniversary of the campfire, and I know that some people are upset to see that. Folks up here are burning on private property with the Butte Prescribed Burn Association, and so burning to reduce fuels, improve community safety, and I think folks ask, well, why do you have to burn on the anniversary of the campfire? And I think the answer is that because it's a burn day, and the conditions are right to burn safely, and we respect the losses that all of us here in Butte County have suffered with the campfire. We honor everyone that was lost and everything that was lost in the campfire, and we want to not have that happen again. So that's why we burn today. So here's some footage from this burn that's being conducted by the PBA on Doe Mill Ridge. Thank you. Hope you enjoy it. Here we are, Shandell. So yeah, tell me, how is it that on the anniversary of the campfire you're up here standing in the smoke in the foothills?
Well, I was part of the campfire. I live up in Yankee Hill, and we lost everything but our house. So my boss decided it would be a good idea to come up and get a little bit of the PTSD out of me. Mm-hmm. And it's been interesting to try and come up and, look at all the fire and all the smoke and realize that there is a good fire. That if you be preventative to some of this stuff, that, you can keep the fires away from you when they do come.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard sell for I think a lot of folks today to look up and see smoke in the foothills.
Yeah, and I think it would have been for me too if I wasn't already up here. Mm-hmm. But I went back and forth. Greg asked me yesterday if I wanted to come up and do this, and I said no at first, and then I decided that I needed to start moving forward.
Mm-hmm. So what did you think of kind of just watching it unfold? How was this experience different from what you might have expected? What did you expect it to be like?
I didn't know, to be honest with you. I knew that they did, broadcast burns, but I really didn't know what they were. And we've done burn piles for years up here. But this was way different, the way they, started it and got it going. It made me realize that it kind of is getting rid of all those lower fuels and stuff. Each smoke each year gets a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to deal more and more with not having any big problems with the smoke plumes when I see them, but mm-hmm. It is hard. It's hard to get over it. I've dealt with fires for years. I've been through the Poe fire. I've been through the '08 fire, and all the ones in between. But the campfire was a different animal. Mm-hmm. It came so fast. I watched it burn Concow, and then I watched it burn Paradise, and then I watched it come back and almost take us out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's hard to communicate how you can have a November 8th that's like the campfire, and you can have a November 8th like today where the fires can behave completely differently.
Yeah.
And that we kind of have the tools to understand that, that we wouldn't be lighting a fire like this, that we're watching the forecasts, and we wouldn't be lighting fire like this on a day that had the potential to be like that.
Yeah, and it is good to get past it. And each year the first year after wasn't that bad, and each year it's either good, it's bad. This year, for some reason, I don't know why, it's been harder. I've had a very emotional week. I found myself breaking down and crying at different times. I don't know if the memories they're getting better because it's, but you see the pictures come up on Facebook or on the news. I don't know what it was about this year, but I just found this year seemed to be, and so it seemed to be also a good time to do this, to see this and maybe try and get one step past that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've mastered it, but I'm trying.
Well, you're out here standing in the smoke.
Yeah, I am. And in the Butte.
Yeah. Well, we've been lucky to have Greg's property here to experiment on, and to, I feel like everyone needs to have more experience with good fire,
Yeah.
And especially, with the media, it's like every time there's a fire burning, they only focus on the biggest flames.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes during a fire like the campfire, even, you get good fire effects on parts of it.
Yeah.
And we have to get better at understanding what makes good and bad fire.
Yeah. Well, and we need to get more used to cleaning up in our forests. We need to get rid of the lower brush, make it a safer forest for everybody. Not just for us as humans, but the animals too. This is their home as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could come out today. Are you interested in getting more involved with like the Prescribed Burn Association and learning more about this stuff?
Yeah, I might. Greg keeps me pretty busy, but yeah, I might definitely be more interested in it and seeing more. Like I said, I've never seen a broadcast burn.
Yeah. So do you have land, or do you think we'll be able to get stuff like this done in Concow?
I hope so. Concow needs it. Concow, Yankee Hill, Polga, all those areas up there, they need so much more work done. I mean, even our road has stuff that's hanging over the road.
Right, just like 6 years after the burn.
Yeah, and it just, there's still all kinds of dead standing.
Yeah. And
we need more projects like this up there.
Anything else you want to say to people, campfire survivors who saw the smoke plume today?
You know what? It's okay. I know it's hard to see. It's hard to watch these different plumes. I've all summer long seen different fires. I've been up here for the park fire. And it's showing that we can start cleaning up our forests. We can start making them safer for us. We're not going to stop living up here.
Yeah.
So let's make it better for us and for everybody.
Right, and we got to do the work.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work.
Yeah. Well, and I have. On my property, I've done Greg has done dozer work down. We've made different fire piles. We get out there every year and weed whack everything down to dirt. We treat areas. We actually use salt a lot with some of the areas to keep the weeds down. And we've done some small little burns. Mm-hmm. We're not doing any really big ones yet, but it's important. It's important to get out there and clean everything up and keep your trees limbed up and make it safe.
I feel like, fire is kind of the original weed eater.
Yes. But if we can do a little preventative, then they won't be as bad. You're always going to have your mega fire. That's not going to go away. And even the 100 feet clearances aren't going to save that. But if you can get out there and make a difference in what you're doing, then you'll have a better chance of your property making it. And I know the smoke and the plumes are hard to see, but know that there is some good fire out there, and it's helping to keep things more clear. So when we moved up into our property, the manzanita was completely overtaken the whole property. It was right up to the house. And we realized that, we needed to start. So we go out like 10 feet and then we go, okay, well, next year we'll go. It took us 5 years to clear it all out. Because that's when we started learning that the manzanita is a fire-prone wood. Mm-hmm. So, we started getting rid of all that, and we did it all by hand. Probably why it took us 5 years.
It's like doing the work here at Greg's, it's like he's put in so much time and energy to get the woods to the point where we can underburn it.
Yeah, exactly.
And once you invest all that energy in getting there, like if you don't do something like this, then you have to do it all over.
Yeah. Well, and if you don't have it, you're all that much more scared.
Yeah.
When you don't have the the property cleared and, the trees limbed up, you're more scared during the fire because you're more susceptible to getting burned.
Well, I think that's a big part of this whole story is like for us to be resilient and live in these places, like we can't be in fear all the time.
No,
like, you'll die.
no. And
like,
I'm trying to get past that.
And so if we can learn more about when the hazard is real, like there's days that are really dangerous.
Yeah.
And you can feel it. You go out and it's hot and dry and windy and just crackly and spooky. And those days are like the real deal. And then you have like all these days where the fire sign at CAL FIRE still says high hazard.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's cool and it's moist and it's not windy. And I think that like it's just kind of an essential skill for living in these places is to like start to learn when it is really bad and when you should have your go bag ready.
Yeah.
And then like we have to know when we can relax.
Well, and realistically, I don't think you can relax anymore. I mean, these fires have come. Whoever thought we'd have a mega fire in November?
But those, but we do get like forecasts and
yes,
and I think the tools are out there for us to get better informed about when the hazards will have. Because I do feel like we can't survive living these places if we're worried about fire every single day.
No, but I think as long as we always respect it and don't fear it, I think we'll be able to live more happily in it.
Yeah.
I know.
Because otherwise, what's the point of living in this beautiful place if you feel like it's going to kill you at any moment?
And I love this. I love waking up in the morning and watching the foxes run in the lower property. I love listening to the hawks as they soar across. You got to just love every day, and you're not down where all the cars are running through the roads, and you gotta learn to enjoy life a little bit.
Yeah. Right on. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you.
All right.